Greetings. This is Scholar Saunders Singh. What's current? Happy St. Patrick's Day. I know Rory's probably he's probably celebrating, probably having a good time. I'm not gonna clown him, not gonna diss him. We had our brief exchange, a very small moment on the Star report. If I remember right, he was like saying, "Oh no, you got to come on this show like." You got to come on with, aggression and all this stuff. I was just coming on to say, I just said, I just want to promote. And is that all right, Star? And he's like, no, you can't just go on. You can't. And so Star was like, oh, Mr. Turing was like, oh, no, you got to come at this white boy. I was like, all I said was this. I just said simply, I don't need your white hand of guidance. That's all I said. And then Mr. Turing was like, okay. So that kind of got it. But let's get right into the show. So I saw interesting. I haven't talked about him in a long time. I think it's been a while if I've ever even talked about him that much. Rick Ross. I don't talk about Rick Ross too much. Sometimes I do though. But I'm always taken by his lyricism. He is definitely one of the top 50 hip hop figures. He's actually at 50 in the ranking. I can't remember what magazine said it was, but they said that he was the number 50 rapper on that list. But he has amassed a great fortune. He has a lavish house. He has multiple vehicles. He has multiple deals with Bel Air and all kinds of different things. He's got Wingstop. He's an entrepreneur. So when he looked at the building for a structure, I'm trying to remember exactly where it was. Let me see what he was talking about. Let me see. He was he wants to say okay, you see how the seniors, okay. I'm walking up on these real estate sites. This is a quote. I see very few brothers, he's talking about black people, apparently, black men, that's on the roofs, even black women, I guess, too, that's doing the plumbing, that's doing the drywall, that's doing the electricity. There's a lot of money in that. And it's facts. That's what we need to start teaching. That's what needs to be addressed more. That's what needs to be shown. Everybody's all fancy. I'm going to be a rapper. I'm going to be a ball player. I'm going to be all that. And that's cool. Great. But the percentage of you not making that basketball team is pretty high. The percentage of you not being a rap star and selling millions of records all over the globe is very, very slim. The percentage of you doing all those things. But you can learn a trade. You can be an electrician. You can be a plumber. You can install drywall. You can do roofing. You can make 6 figures. Some people make 7, 8 figures from doing such work. Mr. Troy Star Terrain, even he had a business where he had to do like electrical work. He had to do installation of different materials. So I think that was it. And for some reason, the article says something about little. It's like the Rolling Loud it's like Ross is not coming at Lil Durk, but he kind of like, they're saying he threw him under the bus, but I don't think he really threw him under the bus. Here's the exact quote. It's a lot of money in that. Once again, how many people said free Lil Durk at Rolling Loud? Exactly. So he's saying, like, I guess more people should be concerned with, skilled professions rather than, thinking about going into the entertainment business. Which is, like I said, pursue your interests, pursue your dreams. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm doing this right now. I love doing what I do. This is really cool for me. But, it would probably be more advantageous if I go into a trade school and learn how to do electrical work, but that's what I was saying with Mr. Troy Star Terrain. He had a mobile home kind of yard or something, court or park or whatever the case may be. And he had multiple homes that he dealt with, and they all were on Social Security or disability. So that deposit was on point every time, every month. If they missed a payment, it was out of here. He had to kick them out. And those are on a few occasions because, like I said, there were Social Security and disability payments that were coming through. So it's a different world, definitely different. So it's a different world. It's different because like Ross said, he had a job, pouring tar upon the roof. I'll never forget that line. He said that line before. He said he put tar upon the roof. But that's what we should be able to teach our mainly. I don't know if our daughters. There are daughters. Let's not get it twisted. You can see them on the construction sites. They're usually the ones holding the stop sign. They usually have that role, but she's probably getting like $30-$40 an hour just to say slow and stop and slow and stop. She's probably getting like $35 an hour. That's what we need to be, teaching our youth, our young kids. Coming up, I was enamored. I mean, that's a weird situation that we find ourselves in. I remember watching MTV Cribs. I'm like, wow, he's got a gold-plated ceiling. I think that was Master P. He had a gold-plated ceiling or something like that, and then the chandelier, and so many people have basketball courts and elaborate fields of greenery and just grass, just land, just land upon land. And and then you look at your own house, you're like, what is it? How am I living like a peasant? Like, this is just terrible. But then you grow up and you like mature, and then you say, damn, my parents really did everything they really could to provide the best life for me. For me, it's still great because it's in the same position that I was before. I'm advanced and economically, but I'm still living at my parents' house. So it all makes sense because it's a different feeling. It's a different way of viewing things. Because you look at how fortunate you really are. My stepmom, she owns the house. She that's an amazing feat. A young woman of color. She was in her 40s when she bought this house that I currently live in, and she has accrued interest and over time has accumulated vast amounts of what's it called, value over time. So you get to say, like, you look at the cribs, you're like, that's nice, but I'm glad I had the upbringing that I had. I'm glad about it. Some people it's much worse. I do realize that some people had to live in tenements and projects and ghettos and stuff like that, and I do respect that. And that's the thing too. It's like some of those people, the people in the entertainment business, especially rappers and actors and singers and directors and writers and all them, they came from like the lowest of the low, very depleted, rats and roaches and stuff. I never had to deal with that. I had my own room, color TV, cable, amenities. Always, the house was always packed. My dad made sure that. My dad pretty much raised my sister, definitely raised my sister and myself. So it was never a problem. But so I see where Rick Ross is coming from when he's saying, I didn't see that, no brothers. I mean, doesn't it have to be brothers? Why does it have to be brothers? Well, my brother, my brother, my brother. And then they ask, you ask, share the link or read the story. Oh, well, I got something else to do, my brother. You're not really my brother, my brother. That's why I don't subscribe to tribalism or collectivism. That's one of the reasons. There's multiple reasons, but that's one of the main reasons. So Rick Ross is telling the truth. He's telling the reality. He's saying facts. He's stating absolute facts. He's saying what is true because the more you have a knowledge of something, the more you know what to do with that knowledge. You don't just have the knowledge just to have. I know everything. I can do it, and then you don't apply it. It doesn't make any sense. It's just accumulated knowledge. But if you apply it and integrate it and adapt it to your life, that's what makes it a greatness. That's what makes it excellence. So I do see where Rick Ross is coming from. I do see his line of understanding. I do see that. It just makes sense to me. Makes sense to me that he would even say all this, because we're living in an era where we're just so, on our phones. We're looking down. I'm part of it too. I'm part of the problem too. It is a problem. Probably, we'll figure out if it actually is a problem, years later. Here we go. Our first victim. Andretti, salute to you, sir. Salute to you. Ross got more wealth than 40 cent and a better investment portfolio. Facts. Facts. I mean, I like 50. He says 40 cent. He's going after him. So I respect 50 though. I respect the 50. I respect the Shreveport deal he wants to do. He wants to make studios, G-Unit Studios. That's awesome. He's a boss. He's definitely a boss. He does it. Rick Ross is a boss, of course. He's the biggest boss that you've seen thus far. Oh. Yeah. So I have to respect what he said. I have to definitely respect what Rick Ross said, because he inspires me. I think he inspires me more so than 50, because 50 he's kind of like Drizzy. He's kind of like Drake. He doesn't have like those bars that have resonance of like social issues. Rick Ross actually has social issues in his music. It's embedded in his rhymes. You think he's just talking about, oh, he's selling kilos of coke, oh, same thing over and oh, but he actually has some things to say. Andretti says he's not going to get the loans for that studio. Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. But we'll see what happens, because that's a crucial part. You have to secure loans. Once you secure those loans, but if you don't, it's a wrap. It's totally different. It's a totally different game. So but I just like Rick Ross's rhetoric. He didn't say like, yeah, well, I mean, I sold coke and I sold crack and stuff like that. It was gravy, man. That's what we should all be about. Selling, what is it, today's drug? Fentanyl? Yeah, you should be selling fentanyl. Like, he wasn't going off the deep end. He wasn't like doing nothing crazy. He was saying exactly how he should be presenting. There's people that do drywall. There's people that do roofing. There are electricians. There are plumbers, and they get paid like $200 to $300 an hour, depending on what they do, or maybe even more, $300, $500 an hour, depending on whatever position they have. And they may have their own truck. They may have their own company. Andretti says, I love 50 when he was a hustler and not being messy like a woman. Yeah, getting gossipy and stuff like that. Yeah, 50 got a little bit of gossip nature in him. I noticed that. But I do love 50 though. I do. I respect his grind. I respect his hustle. I respect 50. That's the funny thing. It's like people that war. Like, remember Jay-Z and Nas? That was the funniest thing. That was like the weirdest. Like, I was like, what? They're fighting? They have a feud? What is that? I like Jay-Z and Nas. What are you talking about? What is this? This is crazy. Did you see Ross going at 50? No, I did not. I missed that book. I just looked at one story and said, that's the story I got to go with. I had to go with that. But you can put that in the you can put the link in if you feel like it, Andretti. No pressure. No pressure. But yeah, so oh boy, I just hope, I mean, I was one of those kids. I was like, yeah. I mean, I started out being a rapper. I was gonna be a rapper. My rap names was Script. That didn't go over well. I stopped doing that. I stopped rapping. I mean, there was little freestyles we did in the street and in the cafeteria and stuff like that. But I wasn't like taking it serious or anything like that. Then I went to the little nigga wants to play basketball. That's nothing new. So I played basketball for one. I just remember hitting one 3-pointer and the crowd going crazy. And I was like, whoa, this is pretty cool. But I didn't hit too many 3-pointers after that. So it was like, oh, it was nice, but you got to get back on defense. Like, it was funny. But anyway, but I mean, these jobs, these positions, these careers, these are careers. people have their own companies. Like I said, they had their own, people under them. Then they have illegals. so, so their country. I remember I was in Pennsylvania, right? I was literally shoveling shit. I was shoveling shit in Pennsylvania. I actually like this contractor. This guy had like probably he was probably worth like $100,000 or more, maybe even 500,000. I don't know him, but he used to go to the veterans. I'm snitching now. I'm snitching, but he used to go to the veterans hospital and take up people, and he would say like, look, you just do the work and I'll pay you. I got paid like $200. It was crazy. I got to pay $200 for shoveling shit, which was let me break that down. It wasn't like literal like piles of it. It was already processed. It was already but you could still smell it. It was still on your clothes too. You could still it's the chemicals within the excrement. It was still within the finished product. It was like a sanitation thing, but you had to put the I guess the product. I don't know how else you would say the excrement, the shit, and in these containers and load them. I think on a truck or something like that. I'm trying to remember exactly the details, but it was on like this kid's school, this like school for boys, and like they had to wait every time you walk by. You had to wave back at them. It was like a informal salute. Like they couldn't salute because that's too official, so they had to wave. Every time you saw them, they would wave. So that was one thing. Other thing was I was also in a mobile home park, a trailer park, as they say, as you put it lightly. Um, yeah. So I cleaned out these terribly. I mean, there was. I swear there were like 70 bottles of empty Pepsi, 2-liter bottles. Like it was just strewn everywhere. There was this. It was wild. They were just everywhere, and it was like they said if you can't if you see some change, you can pick it up. I was like, shoot, I was picking up dimes and nickels and stuff like that, putting them in my pocket. I was like, I'm taking everything from these people. But it was wild. But yeah, so it's just these just jobs you gotta they're out there in America. You just don't buy the lies. Don't buy the lies that oh ho hum, I lost my job. There's nothing else I can do. I'm overqualified. I'm underqualified. Whatever the case may be, make your job. That's the thing we have to do. I put it in the title. Rick Ross highlights maximizing opportunities for you. Maximizing, not equalizing, not equal opportunity, but maximum opportunity. Be a maximum opportunity employee. Be a maximum opportunity employer. So whoever this contractor was in Pennsylvania, I mean, he definitely did. I drove for the first time. It scared the hell out of me because I didn't know what the hell to do. I was driving what do they call it? A Home Depot truck. One of those dump, there's like mid-level, not a big, not a big rig or anything like that. Just a mid-level, dump truck or something like that. And I was just going. It was wild. It felt like I was going to go off the rails. I thought I was going off the road. It was crazy. It was like I was just driving, and it felt freeing to me. It felt like this is capitalism on another level because I didn't have to pay a damn tax. I did not have to pay any taxes, and he was doing. Like I guess he got illegals too or something like that, but it was amazing. It's so enlightening and so engrossing. And of course I had other jobs like that, but that's what Ross was getting at. Ross is getting at the idea that you can do more than just sell fent or be on the corner or have a drug business or something like that. Even though he highlights it in his music, and it seems like he has that Jay-Z vibe. That's why I think Rick Ross and Jay-Z had so many collaborations before. When say they would Pusha T, they love the idea of the hustle, the grind, but not necessarily, all the aspects. You have to have every aspect of the game. You have to have the days when you have a drought, when it's low. You have the days when you have the highs. You got all the money coming in, everything's working, everything's clicking. like Golden State. I think that was one of his lines, one of Push's lines, or something like that. But but not the fiends, in your ops, and you got to worry about somebody's gonna come at your neck, somebody's gonna a fiend gonna stab you up or something like that. You got to worry about all these different things, and then they all got out of it. They never even went to jail, as far as I know. I mean, and you got to remember, Rick Ross was a corrections officer, so. But Jay never went to jail so far. Pusha T never went to jail so far, and Pusha T's story is interesting too. He had two parents in the home, mother and a father. He didn't want for anything. They made money. They made good. They had a good education. His brother and he. I think he had an older brother too, and he may have died. I think I can't remember. But they had a good life. They didn't have to sell crack. They weren't selling crack to pay the bills and to keep food on the table and stuff like that. They had food on the table. They had new Jordans new Nikes every day, every year, something like that. All they did was buy crack, buy enough cocaine on consignment, sell it and get a profit back so they can buy their girlfriends, Honda Accords and stuff like that. I mean, that's the only reason why they were doing it. It's like it was literally a game to them. It wasn't like they had to do it. They were just like having fun. All the love of drug dealing, But yeah, so I think Rick Ross is getting to a good point. I think he's highlighting something that not everybody in the industry talks. Thank you, Andretti. I was waiting for you. Not everybody in the business highlights that. They think, they think it's cool, just to say one thing and then not the other. Oh, I got to see this. When was it? When this? Oh, 4 days ago. This is really, I got to see this. I'll see that soon, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it. But yeah, so it's messy. It's messy. The game is mess, and I think we're starting to get away from it. And then the legalization of drugs will make it even better. Make it even better. So like Rick Ross saying how plumbers, electricians, drywall specialists, roofers, all that has to go into the idea of you being a grown up, an adult, learning the trade. See if you can get $200 to $500 an hour. Make sure you can secure homes, get different loans to build up more businesses. Like Mr. Troy Sarterain, he had the mobile home business. He literally did it himself. He installed ramps for wheelchair access. He rewired electrical appliances and stuff like that. He sold the business. He put in I think it was $130,000 or something like that. I could be wrong. Could be a little bit less. Could be a little more. I can't remember exactly, but it was a low six figures. And he did that in 2001, and by 2011 or 2012, something like that, he was able to flip it all for a 7-figure deal. He flipped that $100,000 or so, or a little bit more, into 7 figures. So that's the thing I'm talking about. You don't have to be a rapper, a basketball player, a football player, baseball player, hockey player, whatever the hell you want to be. You thought, looked up at the screens and that's going to be, I'm going to be a football player. I'm going to be a basketball player. I'm going to be a rapper. I'm going to be an actor. I'm going to be a singer. That's all good. There's always going to be rappers, actors, and singers, and baseball players and basketball players, and that's great. But there's also another option. There's all these other options on the table. They should bring trade schools back. Exactly. Trade schools are beautiful. I was just watching Sunday Morning. You got to watch Sunday Morning. Sunday Morning has this show. CBS has this show called Sunday Morning. They have a lot of special human interest stories and different things that they cover about history and facts and stuff like that, and nature and things of that nature and like that. But they had this one story about this car, school specifically made for people that restore classic cars. That's excellent. There were females there, there were males. Everybody was in on it. It was great. I thought it was wonderful. It looked wonderful. They were restoring these classic cars and making them better. And I think Jay Leno, over 2 decades ago, once called them, said, "Hey, could you spruce up my vehicle?" And they did. It took them a few months or a year or something like that, and they made it look like immaculate. It's crazy. So I mean, trade schools, and I don't think they said this isn't necessarily a trade school or something like that. They said this isn't really a trade school, but it's like a trade school. I think they said something like that. But yeah, I do agree with you, Andretti. They need to bring back trade schools because not everybody. I mean, you have to look at it. I've said this before. I think I believe on this platform. You go to school for 4 years. You probably spent $100,000 going to a state college or university or something like that. You spend $100,000. You got student loans, everything like that's weighing over your head. And you got what degree? You went for English. English is great. You better be a teacher or instructor somewhere. I don't you got to write plays. I guess I don't. Even that's like not even it's like a crapshoot. I'm not limiting anything because there's so many things that are possible, especially because of this thing called the internet. I'm just saying the person that had the 4 year school, college experience, university experience, versus the person that had the 2 year exploration of a trade. The tradesman or tradeswoman is going to get paid $50 starting anywhere, and it's probably going to go up to $250, within the next over a year, depending on their output, depending on their productiveness and their productive skills. So, I mean, I just think that is so cool. I think that's what's so awesome. When we have these different positions that open up and are granted to these young people that are very impressionable. I was highly impressionable. I was highly impressionable. I was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna make sure I'm a rapper. I'm a basketball player. I'm gonna do all this stuff. I'm gonna do everything. I haven't rapped it. The only thing I've rapped in the past 20, 30 years is a sandwich. I'm taking that from Mr. Choice Arturian, but I say the only thing I've ever rapped, the past 20 years is a gift. That's the only thing I've ever rapped in the past 20 years. So very, very, very important to say because nobody really talks about it that much. I'm glad Rick Ross took the time to say that because not a lot of big time rappers are going to tell you that. They're going to tell about their own life. Say, oh yeah, the rats was running around the sticky trap and there was roaches everywhere. My sister was, she was a crack baby, and my mama was cracked. She was cracked out, And it's like a sad story. Like, and it's like, okay, I understand. I got you. That's not cool, but I understand. But there are other avenues. That's what I think is. We have to really open up and make the market free. We have to have a free market revolution, as Dr. Brook has stated previously, and it's, along with his co-author Don Watkins and their books. They have a series of books. That was the first of them, Free Market Revolution. We need a completely free market. No government regulations, no controls, nothing. Allow people to do, allow people to make, allow people to create, to build, to produce. And Andretti said Ross is a hustler and he hides his wealth well. Yeah, I think so. And this is scratching the surface. The wing stop. Obviously his rap career, but the wing stop and the car show. I'm sure that brings in money for him too. All that he has quiet money. I know Rick Ross has real quiet money. He's probably has different businesses all around. From Florida all the way up to Maine. I'm just saying. I don't know. I don't know what he has, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying as an example. I'm just saying allegedly. He does hide his wealth well, I think, and he's quiet. He's quiet. Quiet money is the best money. I heard that from Mr. Three Star Terrain too. Quiet money is the best money. So if you're able to create wealth, if you're able to build and produce and make something of yourself, that's the best thing. I don't care what you are. Start from nothing. Start from shoe shine boy. Maybe like they have in Atlanta. They have the water boys. Start off with something like that because that's you learning. Excuse me. That's you learning the intricacies of um a business. Okay, you shine this guy's shoes. You shine her shoes and this woman's shoes into a high gloss, and you make sure and they give you what $3, $5, something like that. And you're like, dang, I just got $5. I just signed some shoes. And you do that for the rest of the day. You get $5 and $5 and $5. It's going to accumulate. You can get more money. Star Island in Miami. I would look that up. I will actually look that up. Star Island in Miami. I think I heard that though, but I'll look it up again. Let me see. Yeah. So I just wonder if people really contemplate what it really means. Ross building a crib there. Okay, that may be what he's talking about. I don't know what he was talking about. He's saying some structure. He just said when he just sees all these real estate. Oh, I see all these real estates, and they don't have no brothers on the roof. They don't have no drywall, no plumbers, no electricians. But he's making a very valid point. He's making a very valid point. Extremely valid. Extremely valid point. I mean, just imagine how that's the thing though. That's the sad part about it. What it is because more regulation. Well, you got to be this. You have to have this government certified license and stuff like that. It shouldn't be government certified. It should be the government should only protect the certificate of the for the employer and the employee to protect them from injury of you know through like from falsifying documents or things like that. Yeah, I'm watching. Okay, I'll definitely watch the link. I'll definitely watch the link. Yeah, definitely. Probably right after the show, something like that. But yeah. So I have to give Rick Ross a salute for that. That's big. That's really big talk. That is boss talk. When he talks stuff like that, that is really a boss. Rick Ross is a boss for that. He really is. He's got his head on straight. He definitely has his head on his shoulders. I like when I think Cameron, he's the way he maneuvers. I mean, most of the rappers nowadays anyway are just entrepreneurial. I remember, Cameron. This is when I was real young. I was when he had the cologne, old boy cologne. They were pushing that. Then they had the scissor, and then Cameron made he made his own movie. He has Killer Entertainment. I mean, he made it for nothing. He made it for what? Probably 90,000, maybe $100,000, maybe less than that. And then he put it out. It's on the internet. You can look it up right now. You can look up Kill Season. It's right there. Bam. And I'm sure he's still making money from it. That's beautiful. I just like the idea that you can just do as you will. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm doing as I will. Like nobody ever, forced me to do this. This is all volitional. It's all volitional. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support. I appreciate people that come in here like Andretti and so many. I don't know where else anybody else is. I don't. People just fall off and whatever. But I salute to Andretti. You know. But like I was saying, it's a different way of presenting yourself. Like Rick Ross is definitely presenting himself to be the boss because he's talking about something, and that's why I like with 50. 50 has boss talk too. What you should watch his interviews. Watch how he talks about business. He talks about the corporate world in America. That's another thing too. That corporate ladder. Climbing that corporate ladder. You got, like I said, you're busting tables. You're doing, you're cleaning theaters. You're working at McDonald's. You're working at Wendy's. You're working at the watering hole in your hometown just to pay off those loans. But then it all pays off because you're a real estate agent, because you're a investment banker. That's what's beautiful. That's what's so great. All those things happen because you put in that work. And like I'm saying, I'm not knocking college at all. I think college is a beautiful institution where you get to learn and expand your mind, expand your thoughts. It is the universities that is the battleground for all ideas and expression. It is that is the root. Every idea, it has a philosophical root when you go to the university and college levels. That's why I think they push it so much. They push it so much when you're in high school. It's like college preparatory classes, there's honors classes, there's advanced placement classes, but they're all geared towards college and university. So don't get me twisted. I'm not saying, oh, you went to college, you're a fool, you wasted all your money. No, I'm saying it's impossible to think that you're going to just jump into the workforce and you're gonna know exactly what you're doing just because you went to school. You got to learn things. That's the reason why they do it. I think that there's a low number of people that just have gone into any profession without previously working in some form of McDonald's or Burger King or Burlington Coat Factory. Now it's just Burlington, I think. But it's a very short list of people. Very short list of people. So yeah, what Ross is talking about is very encouraging, uplifting. I don't agree with the tribal part. Oh, I don't see brothers. I don't see brothers. Then you don't see brothers. See sisters. White sisters. See brown, red, yellow men, women. That's what you should see. I don't care if they're black or white or red or yellow or brown. I just want to see them working. Just as long as they're putting in that work. They got 5 to 10, 20 people under them. They have a pyramid of skills. They're getting paid 70, $80 an hour. You're getting paid $200 to $300 an hour. That's the beauty. That's what I think is wonderful. That's what I think is credible. And it's not just to Rick Ross. It's to all the entrepreneurs. I remember Mr. Dr. Farg, excuse me, I get his name right. Dr. Fargray. He started his business for when he made $1 million when he was 14 years old. But before that, he had this is the thing. It's always a time frame. When you start, I started my work when I was 18. I was 18. I started at Burlington Coat Factory. That's what it's called, BCF, Burlington Coat Factory. Man, I was like, oh man, this is not my speed. I'm not doing this. I ran into the Marines, got booted, on a crazy. He's insane. He is bipolar. He's gonna get out of here. But anyway, Dr. Farr Gray started selling rocks. Okay, not literally crack rocks, but literal rocks, like little pebbles, little stones. But he painted them, so he added value to them, he distinguished them, and he sold them door to door. And a lot of people look at him like, pat his head and just close the door politely. And then some people say, "Oh, wow, thank you." He'll be like, "Well, you can use it for a paper paperweight. You can use it for a doorstop." He had his own, way of conveying this. He's like 6, 7 years old doing this. It's crazy. Then he went on to, be on radio shows, which I don't think paid any money. He just got exposure. He went on to have his own nightclub on Las Vegas Strip, and this is like when he's like 16, 17 years old. Before that, he was like maybe even like 11 or 12. 'Cause I think it was 13 or 14 when he first made his first million. He had his own syrup, which is still amazing to me. Because I had the syrup with fruity pebbles. Um, uh, it's flavored. It's a flavored syrup, but he had this idea like in the 90s. So he sold it though, and he made $1 million. So I think that is extraordinary. So, and he has books out. He does public speaking. He's a great public speaking, excellent public speaker. Yeah. So, and he's like what? Oh God, what? He's like he'll be 41. He'll be 41 this year. I think in September. He's 40 years old. He has like 2 million. He's sitting on $2 million. They say, oh, it's $2 million. But that's a lot. Comparing to about what he could have had. Nothing, zero, zilch, laying in a gutter somewhere. He made sense of this life, and he continues doing. He has an honorary doctorate. That's why it's Dr. Far Gray. He got it when he was the youngest person I think to ever receive a doctorate. He was 21 at the time, I think, or something like that. 22 or 20, 21, something like that. I just think that's extraordinary, and that's a great story to tell young people, because it's like we get so inundated with all these images and sounds of what you could be, what you can be, what you want to be, what you should be. Everybody's pressuring you. Your parents are pressuring you. My parents didn't pressure me, but you know, it, it happens like that. Some people's lives end up like that, very estranged from reality. But I think what Ross is saying is very anchored in reality. It's very stable and very true. I mean, look at your screen right now. Let me just say this right now. Visit LifeStrongApparel.com for your raw street sea moss needs, including oils and purple sea moss. Also, pick out your favorite snapback. Additionally, put in the code Skyler20, SKYLER20 to get 20% off what you buy. This is from a man. This is from my friend from high school. Okay, he went into the Air Force. He came out and said, "You know what? I'm gonna just start my company," and he just did it. He's up and running. He's going. He's making good money from it. He's got his own house. He's got a female friend. He's got a woman by his side. So it's beautiful. I just love that. I'm supporting his business while I get paid for supporting his business. It's so great. It's this win-win. You want to make win-win situations every step of the way. You want to make sure you make a win-win situation. That's the truth. You have to make win-win situations. You can't like win-lose or lose-lose. Those are sacrifices. That's altruism. That's when you lose. That's an altruistic situation. Somebody lost, or somebody's loss is somebody else's loss. Someone else's loss, someone else's gain, or something like that. Those are all altruistic. Those are all false moves that you want to make. You want to make the great moves. Like I said, there's 3 people that are supporting my show right now. Mr. Pang, God Focus, and Beha Jackson. I almost messed up his name. But yeah, so I totally agree with Ross's his whole sensibility. I mean, it just creates a different realm around what he wants to do. It's almost anathema. It's almost like he shouldn't be saying it. It's almost like people would be afraid. Like, what plumber? What plumber? I'm trying to be no plumber. Like they don't understand. He said like the benefits, the the money involved in it, the advantages of being a plumber, extraordinary. And the fact that you can be your own boss, you can set your own terms, you can write up your own contracts. That's what the late great Ayn Rand once did with her works, with her novels. She highlighted, of course, the geniuses, the multiple, geniuses of her works, the architects and the physicists and different things like that, and the railroad executives and stuff like that. But she also highlighted plumbers, electricians, uh, firemen on the train, not like firemen that put out fires, but engineers, stuff like that. And that's another thing too. This is what Ross is doing. Ross is doing STEAM. He's doing science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. He's representing STEAM. He's obviously the art. So you get the sounds and the visuals from his work. But you also understand that that all these things are applications of STEAM, or you take the A out, the art, you get STEM. A lot of people just say STEM instead of STEAM, but it's really I like to say STEAM because think about all the things. Think about science fiction, especially. Think about how many people are inspired by science fiction. Oh, I want to be a computer engineer. I saw them using computers in there. Oh yeah, just different movies and Blade Runner and just Gattaca, my favorite science fiction film. Um, uh, there's just so many different films and TV shows and Battlestar Galactica and Star Trek. Oh my god, especially Star Trek. Star Trek was like amazing for people to be inspired by and say, I want to do something like that. I want to be in my own enterprise. I want to, say, I want to be on that one day, So that's that's a testament to the kind of free thinking, free, that's what reason individualism, capitalism are: free minds, free men, and free markets. That's all it is. So that's the beautiful part about all of that. Um, Rick Ross is on to something. I think he could start something wrong. I would love to see him do studios. Rick Ross Studios, studios. Maybach Music Studios, something like that. That'd be awesome. I want to see Cat Williams. Cat Williams is doing it. Cat Williams just bought land, $1.5 million. He's trying to convert something to a way of doing things. Tyler Perry, of course. Tyler Perry, billionaire on his own. Not in the Hollywood system, he can make his own movies. All he needs is a distributor, and that's right now is BT. I think he has most of his works on BT. But all he needs is a distributor. He can create his own films. That's what's so beautiful about this internet. I'm working on I already wrote the script, but I'm working on a story that's going to be played on this. This right here. That's what I plan to do. And there's nobody can stop me. Nobody's stopping me. That's the beauty of this, especially in this country. We have to take it for granted. Take it for granted. I myself, I take it for granted too. It's just that's the beautiful thing too, in a sense, because it's like you had the freedom, you had the luxury to take something for granted. Fresh air, clean water, people not dropping bombs on your house. You take that for granted. Some people, there's millions of people around the world that are under that threat. Millions. Millions of people that are still under the threat of war and famine and poverty. And the poverty we have in this country is not even close to what there is around the world. Not even close. I remember there was a runner. I can't remember his name. I'm trying to remember his name next time. But there was a runner that said he used to eat dirt. Just dirt. Just eat the dirt. Like soil. He ate soil from the ground when he was a child because there was no food. So he would just eat dirt, literally. Then he grew up and he ran, I think, the Boston Marathon or something like that. I mean, we're just so spoiled and fat and happy, but we're not really happy. We want to be happy when we think we aren't happy, and we should be happy, or we should be happier, or the happiest, or something like that. I don't know what it is with Americans. I'm not even going to talk about the administration. That's too easy. That's not even like the issue really. That's easy to say. Oh well, everything is because of Trump. It's his fault. He's ruining everything. He's ruining the government. It was like this before he even got to that office again. Happened way before him again. So I just want to say, Ross is definitely on it. He's making the entrepreneurial side look like it's it's privatized. It's not governmental. The government just protects individual rights. That's it. It sits back. It doesn't do anything other than that. Once it gets its hand on everything else, then that's when it's a problem. I just wrote a short story called Antitrust that's giving me money. I write short stories every day. Businesswoman. If you like to go on vocal.media, check it out. I put it in the link. Hold on. Well, I'll put it in the search for. Oh, let me take that back. Thank on it. Of course, it just says delete. Search. I'm looking for it right now. I'm putting it in. Yeah, it's a few cents a day, but it counts. I made over $2,000 with this company in about 8 years, almost 8 years. But it's $2,000 I wouldn't have had. That's the thing we have to have. We have to have principles. That's a principle. No, it's not $200 million. No, it's not $200,000. Yes, it is $200 a year about, but it's my $200 that I made that I earned. That's what's so wonderful. That's what needs to be uh talked about. That's what needs to be discussed. That's what needs to be traded. The fact that we're able to do all these things and all these different devices. I'm on a MacBook right now. All these different devices that we use. That's an important and key word. Use. You have to use it. You can be used. Either you're used or you're useless. That's what Fabulous said one time. You can't be used and maybe you're useless. That's what he said. I think it's the verbatim. So just remember what Rick Ross said. Forget about the brothers. I don't care about the brothers. That's collectivism. That's tribalism. He was on point for the most part. I knew what he was getting at. I understand, and I do see. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, black people don't, want to work in those kind of skilled jobs. Like I used to, if you watch TV shows and movies from the 40s and 50s and 30s, even, I mean, all you see are black men. If they're not cooning and buffooning or something like that, they're porters. They're porters. Or if they're not, in music. I mean, that's nothing. That was like a high roll. That was like, whoa, whoa. He's not a porter. He's actually playing the piano. Oh my god. But that's the thing. Those are very high skilled, high professional. Well, not I don't know if it's professional, but were well paying figure, positions, and there were domestics, of course, for the women. The black woman was the mammy usually, but she used this. Hattie McDaniel said, "Let me make sure I get this right." She says she'd rather get $500. You know, she'd rather get $500 a week playing a mammy rather than $500 a month, a year, or something like that. Something along those lines, being an actual maid or something like that. I just thought that's true. That is true. That was true. So definitely take heed to what Rick Ross is saying. He's uplifting. I think he may have, and I hope if not, if I don't do it, I hope he did it. I hope he inspires my. You know what? Maybe electrician is in my future. Maybe I will be an electrician. Maybe I will be a plumber. Maybe that's something I could do. That's the thing we have with Marine Corps. Marine Corps, I was like, oh, it's very idealistic. And that's, they know how to, they prey upon that. And they do a very good job. And they did an excellent job. I salute them, the recruiters. Say, hey, man, hey, you can get a job, you can get this, and that. First day you get in the boot camp, that's when you get paid. I was like, all right, my recruiter never lied to me. Never lied to me about anything. That's just so wonderful about him. Because people always say, "Oh, my recruiter lied to me, man. He told me I was going to get this, this, and this, and this." My recruiter never lied to me. Said if there was something that happened, he would tell me immediately, like, "Oh, that job you wanted, you can't have it. We can't do it. We can't do it. You can't do it." I was like, "All right, what's the next thing?" It was like the JAG. I was like, "Okay, I'll be working around the lawyer." That got knocked down because the first one I wanted was combat correspondent. And I would have fought for it, but I didn't have the credentials. If I had got my rifle expert badge, if I got my PFT score that warranted it, I would have been like, you know what? I got a PFT that's this, and this. I think it was like 108. I can't remember what it was. 300, I think, or something like that. And if my rifle score was perfect, if I had an expert rifle score, I'm like, no, I'm doing this. I don't care. Because that's the thing happens. They say the needs of the Marine Corps. And you go by the needs of the Marine Corps, and it just just stays on that level. So you're a veteran this entire time. Jay Leo, now he speaks up. See, he was ghosting. Yes, I am. Here's some proof. Here, look. I try not to put it in, but look at that, huh? I try to keep it, neutral, so nobody clicks off automatically. Oh, it's a Marine. Get him out of here. Um, so yes, Jay Leo. Yes, I am a Marine. I'm a veteran. I'm a disabled vet, as a matter of fact. I got this MacBook because I'm a disabled vet. I got this phone because I'm a disabled vet. I live stress free. I think I owe you an apology, sir. Well, apologize away. It doesn't matter. You say sorry or not. Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. I get paid either way. That's what they say. Yeah, Ross. Definitely. In conclusion, Rick Ross was one of my top, hip hop head. When he first came out with Hustle, I was like, man, this thing gonna make $1 million and get the hell out of here. Just like Duro, just like Rich Boy, just like so many others. And they had a one hit wonder, and they made $1 million, whatever. But Ross made a career out of it, so I got to give it to him. He has at least like 12 studio albums like that, something like that. It's crazy. It's because Jay Leo says it's because I thought you were like a random dude. Well, I am a random dude. I'm just a random nigga on the mic with a video camera. That's all I am. I am a random dude. You're exactly right. Oh man. Jay Leo, I would appreciate it, Jay Leo, if you said, look at this random ass nigga on here. Tell your friends, tell your parents, tell your family, tell somebody, so I can get more views. I get these views up. That's how you get this money. I put in work either way. I may get a 9,000 views one day and then get 6 views the next day. So he's got to roll with the punches, as they say. Is the cliche of boxing. All right, so sum up, Rick Ross, salute you, sir. That was the truth that you said. Talking about plumbers, electricians, drywall experts, roofers. Those are all very honorable professions and lucrative. So if you're looking for something to do, young man, young woman, you might want to look into what Rick Ross is saying. If you were brave enough to be a Marine, this is not random, sir. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I think I ended on that note. That was a good note to end on. Salute to you. Salute to Andretti and Jay Leo. So I appreciate you all, you both. And I will see you all probably around the same time tomorrow. All right. Take care.